got bailed out, John Pierce said I was in an unorganized militia, which is just blatantly false. I didn't know what a militia was. And
Wait, your lawyer said you were in a militia?
John Pierce said that, and it's blatantly false. I didn't know what a militia was until after the fact, until November 25th, after I was watching some of the interviews he did. I was like, I'm not in a militia. I don't know what that is.
Hello everyone, Ace here, and today let's talk about something that not very many people know about, and something that was brought up with the Kyle Rittenhouse interview with Tucker Carlson, that being the subject of the unorganized militia. And more specifically, let's talk about what exactly the unorganized militia is, and how it is defined in US law. For a start, I believe it's important to note that the unorganized militia has a lengthy, legally bound history within the US, starting all the way back to the two Militia Acts of 1792, with the second act describing the militia as thus: that each and every free, able-bodied white male citizen of the respective states resident therein who is or shall be of age of 18 years and under the age of 45 years, except as is hereinafter accepted, shall severally and respectively be enrolled in the militia. In other words, the legal definition of militia in the United States in 1792 was every able-bodied free white male citizen between the ages of 18 to 45. It should also be noted that at the time, every member of the militia, in other words, every able-bodied free white male citizen between the ages of 18 to 45, was legally required by this law to equip themselves with a rifle or musket as well as bayonet and ammunition. In other words, not only was militia service in the United States compulsory rather than voluntary, but they were even legally required to bear arms. And this was more or less how the militia was legally defined up until 1903, when a new law was passed that created multiple types of militia, and were legally defined as such: that the militia shall consist of every able-bodied male citizen of the respective states, territories, and the District of Columbia, and every able-bodied male of foreign birth who has declared their intention to become a citizen, who is more than 18 and less than 45 years of age, and shall be divided into two classes: the organized militia, known as the National Guard of the State, Territory, or District of Columbia, or by such other designations as may be given them by the laws of the respective states or territories, and the remainder be known as the reserve militia. As you can see, not only did this law define multiple types of militia, such as the organized militia, also better known as the National Guard, and the reserve militia, but the definition of who becomes militia has been expanded as well, as now all able-bodied males between the ages of 18 to 45 are militia. And not only does this apply to citizens, but also individuals who wish to become citizens as well. And once again, it should be noted that being militia in the United States was considered compulsory, not voluntary, although there are some technical exceptions, such as for people who are critical to running the government, as well as religious exceptions. But let's now move on to the law that created the legal term known as the unorganized militia, which was passed in 1956, and with regards to the militia specifically states: the militia of the United States consists of all able-bodied males at least 17 years of age and, except as provided in Section 313 of Title 32, under 45 years of age who are, or who have made a declaration of intention to become citizens of the United States. The classes of the militia are the organized militia, which consists of the National Guard and the Naval Militia, and the unorganized militia, which consists of members of the militia who are not members of the National Guard or the Naval Militia. So in other words, this law does reiterate the same general points of the 1903 law. However, it did slightly expand the definition of militia as well, from every able-bodied male of 18 to 45 to every able-bodied male from 17 to 45. And since then, there have been a few minor revisions to this as well, such as in 1958, females who are specifically in the National Guard are also considered militia, and in 2016, the chapter under which the militia falls has been renumbered from Chapter 13 to Chapter 12. That said, it is once again important to reiterate that being militia in the United States is once again compulsory and not voluntary. In fact, ironically enough, the vast majority of the population that are militia militia don't even realize it. Let's take, for example, Kyle Rittenhouse's claim that he was not unorganized militia, stating that it was factually false, and that at the time he didn't even know what the term unorganized militia meant. And while I was originally going to say that he was technically correct because I had only read up to the 1903 law at the time I was starting this video, that said, having since found the 1956 law has changed my opinion on the matter, because it did lower the age requirement from 18 to 45 to 17 to 45. In other words, Kyle Rittenhouse may not have known it at the time. However, according to federal law, he was technically unorganized militia. Now, of course, I would love to see legal experts have a look over these laws and provide their own thoughts on the matter, because there are some rather amusing implications that are certainly insinuated thanks to the current legal definition of militia, such as, for example, implications revolving around the debate over the Second Amendment and whether or not it applies to everyone or just militia. To understand what I'm talking about, though, allow me to provide a hypothetical example. Let's say Joe Schmo is an able-bodied male citizen between the ages of 17 and 45, and he decides to build his very own lootie in his own personal garage. Now, I'm not personally saying he is legal to do so. I am, however, going to point out the fact that even the most ardent and strict of gun grabbers in the United States believe that gun control does not apply to the militia. Food for thought. In addition to this, I should also point out the fact that you could make the case that gun control legislation is discriminatory in practice along the lines of gender, disability, and age, all of which are big no-nos in the United States. And to re-emphasize, that is even if you take the most extreme gun grabber position that the Second Amendment only applies to militia. So really, I would love to see legal experts be made aware of these laws and weigh in on the matter. And unsurprisingly, I will of course also be leaving links in the description below so you can check them out yourself. But in any case, this has been Ace. Hope to see you guys again soon. Take care. Ace out.